Well, a couple days later, we've got the Bahamas Bowl with OU, the aforementioned Bobcats, who could have made the MAC championship game at 5-3 in the conference, 8-4 overall, taking on a UAB team that was absent from football, comes right back into play and right back into postseason play at 8-4, 6-2 in Conference USA. Steve Helwick from Hustle Belt joining us to break down the MAC Bowl games, and we'll take your look at this one, Steve.
I think this one also falls in the category of bowl matchups that are just way too lopsided, except this one favors the MAC. You look at UAB, a team that went 8-4 against the absolute worst schedule in the nation. UAB lost to Ball State. Ball State, who went 2-10, didn't even look competitive. They almost went a month without scoring a touchdown this year. They lost to Ball State 51-31 earlier in the season. And then the Blazers were the only team to lose to the Charlotte 49ers this year, falling 25-24 in overtime there. And the other Blazers matchup I'd like to point out against was when they played Florida. A lot of people were seeing Florida having a down year. This one could be competitive, but UAB just got tossed by them, losing 36-7. This Blazers team is a lot better than their 8-4 record says, and Ohio is a much different 8-4 than UAB is. Ohio, fumbling was their main issue this year. Fumbling kept them out of the Purdue game. Turnovers lost the Central Michigan game, and the Buffalo game late in the season. Early on, Buffalo was able to record a defensive touchdown and gain that early momentum and put Ohio behind. The Bobcats had to come back. But the main game Ohio had to win this year was that Akron game that they lost, and turnovers did them in on that one again. So as long as Ohio can keep the ball in their hands, they should be able to crush UAB. Their rushing offense is one of the best in the nation. You have Nathan Rourke, first-year starter for the team, young option quarterback. Sometimes he'll make questionable decisions, but for the most part, he is just a talented athlete. He has great running backs in A.J. Ouellette and Dorian Brown in the backfield. And the Bobcats have run all over teams this season, producing many yards. And you see Nathan Rourke, he's had hat tricks of touchdowns all season long, game after game. And this Ohio offense is very explosive. Other than Toledo, the best one in the MAC. And they should probably roll over UAB. But for UAB, I'm just going to give them credit. They're a team that should be happy to be here after not having football since 2014. Bill Clark, definite coach of the year candidate, had a vision, brought this program back from nothing, and got 8 wins in his first year. Even if it is against the weakest schedule in the nation, 8 wins is something that's very impressive for a team that hadn't played football in 2 years. But Ohio should roll UAB in this one.
Yeah, a couple teams here in the Bahamas Bowl with very different recent track records in postseason play. OU with 9 consecutive bowl trips under Frank Solich, although they are only 2-8 all-time in postseason play. UAB, as we mentioned, just getting back to playing football, period. Just its second bowl game in history. They played back in the 2004 Hawaii Bowl, led by A.J. Erdley this season, 2,000 yards passing, 29 total touchdowns, just about half of those on the ground, and a freshman Spencer Brown, one to look out for as well if you're catching UAB for the first time, with 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. OU and UAB matchup in the Bahamas Bowl on December 22nd.